and humid evening for baseball, and there'll be another sellout crowd here at Citizens Bank Park. The rain out yesterday, but of course they played indoors across the street. You know the result of the Stanley Cup outcome. The Chicago Blackhawks here in town beating the Philadelphia Flyers in overtime last night. So there was still a big crowd here in South Philly, but it was for the Flyers game and not the Marlins and the Phillies. That rain out will be made up in September on Labor Day. The teams will play a doubleheader here at Citizens Bank Park. In tonight's game, it'll be a rematch of the perfect game. Roy Halladay against Josh Johnson. Josh, who pitched so well, gave up an unearned run and lost on that Saturday when Halladay pitched the perfect game against the Marlins and won 1-0. They are matched up again here for the first time since Saturday, May 29th. For the Marlins, the day before yesterday was a day to circle on your calendar because it's a day that Mike Stanton went into the Marlins lineup, and he should be there for a long, long time. He made his debut in that game against the Phillies, and Kyle Kendrick picked up not only his first major league hit, which he picked up in the second inning of the game, but went 3 for 5 and scored a couple of runs in the ball game. Unfortunately, the Marlins lost 10-8, and the Marlins have now dropped 5 of the last 6. They've dropped 12 of the last 18. The Phillies still haven't totally righted the ship, even though they won that game. They've still dropped 13 of their last 20. So it's the 8th meeting of the season between the Marlins and the Phils. Phils have a 1-game advantage, 4-3, and what a matchup for tonight's game. Josh Johnson against Roy Halladay one more time here tonight. Glenn?
All right, Dave, thanks. But the weatherman said we'd have a nice bounce-back day here on Thursday, and that's precisely what we have as the Marlins and the Phillies get set to close out this series. Now from here, the Phillies go to Boston to begin an interleague road trip, 3 at Fenway against the Red Sox, then 3 in New York against the Yankees. Marlins head to St. Petersburg. We'll be at Tropicana Field tomorrow night to start a 3-game weekend series against the Tampa Bay Rays, the team with the best record in all of baseball. So another very challenging series coming up for the Marlins before heading home to host the Texas Rangers, who've been at or near the top of the AL West for the bulk of the season, and then those Tampa Bay Rays again in Miami the following weekend. So a tough stretch for the Marlins, who need to get it going tonight, but they've got a tough customer on the mound in Roy Halladay for the Phillies. Now the Mets have already lost today, game 1 of their day-night doubleheader. They fell to the Padres 4-2. They've got another one coming up in a few minutes. The Braves were leading Arizona at 1.72. That game now into the 9th, and Phoenix tied at 7. So the first-place Braves in some trouble against the Diamondbacks. We'll keep you posted on that one throughout the night. Our first pitch tonight brought to you by South Dade Toyota, your new dealer in South Dade. They're located on US 1 at 293rd Street, just 20 minutes from Kendall. So we've got one more for you between the Marlins and the Phillies, Josh Johnson and Roy Halladay. What a matchup. And here for the call, the voice of the Marlins, Dave Van Horn.
All right, thanks, Jeff, and hi again, everybody. Glad to have you aboard for tonight's game. Mentioned a beautiful evening. The entire infield is in the shade. The only sun field, only possibility of a player having a problem stands in, and Roy Halladay about to make his first of the night. The big guy winds, delivers, and he misses low. Ball 1. We are underway at Citizens Bank Park. Coughlin now batting at .265. He has hit in 9 straight, and during those 9 games, he's batted .487. The pitch fouled away off to the left, way up above third base. The Marlins in the third base dugout. The Phils down to our right, first base side. Marlins in the gray road pants with the black tops, and the Phils in the home whites trimmed in red. The Phils wear the pinstripe uniform. The next pitch, and that's down and in, ball 2. 2-1 the count on Coughlin. Gabby Sanchez to our left at the on-deck circle. Right back with a pitch. Halladay gets Coughlin to chase a pitch that was outside. It looked like an off-speed pitch. That evens the count at 2-2 to Chris Coughlin here. We'll set the defense after this next pitch. Coughlin motionless at the plate as the pitch comes in low and misses for ball 3. Coughlin's worked a full count. Out in left, Raul Ibanez. In center, Shane Victorino. In right, Jason Worth. First to third, it's Ryan Blanco. Here's the pitch and a ground ball right past the pitcher into center field. A base hit. There'll be no perfect game tonight. There'll be no hitter tonight.
At least not by Roy Halladay.
I'm glad you brought that up. Josh Johnson is his mound opponent. I've seen him go out there on a lot of nights with no-hit stuff.
Yes, sir.
So a base hit by Chris. He's now hit in 10 straight, 20 hits and 40 at-bats, a .500 average over that span. The Palm Harbor, Florida native takes his lead at first base. Howard holds him on. Here's the pitch to Sanchez, inside the ball. Fans still coming in. You see a lot of red, white, and blue in this ballpark because you see a lot of the red Philly tops, a lot of blue Philly tops, and white Philly tops. The fans love wearing their team colors here in Philly. The pitch, and Gabby sends a line drive, base hit to center. Coghlan will hold at second base. So back-to-back hits here at the start of this one. And Hanley Ramirez will bat for the Marlins. Hanley batting .286, 9 homers and 12 doubles. And the shortstop gets in there. Last 11 games, Hanley's hit .190. He has only batted .222 in the month of June. Since we're not that deep into the month, he's got plenty of time to get it straightened out, but the Marlins keep looking for their shortstop and number 3 hitter to really heat up with the bat. Here's the pitch to Hanley, a called strike. 0-1. Hanley is 4 for 11 with a double against Roy Halladay. Halladay tonight his 13th start, 8-3, a 2.03 earned run average. Won that perfect game with 1 unearned run. The pitch low and inside. Remember in the 3rd inning, Wilson Valdez got on with a base hit. Then that ball hit to center field where Cameron Maben was charged with a 3-base error. That scored the only run of the game. Ball was hit by Chase Utley. Well, the Marlins here tonight have a scoring opportunity against Halladay in the 1st inning. 2 on, nobody out. Hanley up, Cantu on deck. Halladay looks back, delivers a pitch, and it's up high for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike to Hanley. Halladay tonight makes the 300th start of his career. Ranks currently 14th among all Major League active pitchers in starts. The pitch, called strike. Got the 3rd best career earned run average among the active pitchers. Johan Santana, who lost today, went into today's game with a 3.10 earned run average. The best earned run average among active pitchers. Roy Oswalt next. He also pitched today with a 3.23 ERA, and then Halladay, a career 3.37 earned run average. So among the very best, among the elite pitchers in the game in his time. Roy Halladay misses ball 3. 3-2 on Hanley. Hanley straight away has the right foot planted on the back line of the batter's box, strides toward the pitch, takes it low and outside. Ball 4, and the Marlins have loaded the bases in the 1st inning against Roy Halladay. Sanchez moves down to second, Coghlan over to third, and so far Halladay just does not have that finite control that he had when he pitched that perfect game. So a Marlin at every base. Cantu steps in, batting .287, 8 homers, 44 batted in, and he also has 18 doubles. The pitch to Jorge Cantu, a check swing foul ball off to the right side. Jorge was fooled by that pitch. Cantu has batted .415 with runners in scoring position. Among his 27 hits are 10 doubles and a. The pitch to Cantu. He swings here, lifts a fly ball to right, sending Worth back onto the track, makes the grab, tagging at third, coming on to score, Chris Coghlan. 1-0 Marlins on a sac fly by Jorge Cantu, who picks up his 45th run batted in of the year. So 45 RBIs will put him into a tie with Casey McGee and Troy Gloss, leading the National League. Here comes Stan Uggla. By the way, the runner at second, Gabby Sanchez, he moved to third base. Hanley's at first base. First and third. 1 run in, 1 out. Halladay deals, and it's low and a ball. So the Marlins are able to do in the first inning with 1 out what they were not able to do in that perfect game, of course, and that is score, let alone get a couple of hits. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. Fastball down and away, chased by Dan Uggla. Dan has fallen into a slump. The last 18 games, he's batting 185, 12 for 65. He has 1 homer and just 3 RBIs in his last 14 games. The pitch to Dan swung on and missed. The runner at first on the move. Hanley steals the bag. Number 9 for Hanley Ramirez. And it was strike 2 to Dan Uggla, swinging and missing. So now 2 in scoring position for Dan, but Halladay ahead on the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. First inning of play, the Marlins have 1 run in. That's a big steal because it does away with that ground ball double play possibility, the routine double play. So Uggla, whose average is down to 262, waits for the pitch. Here it is. He swings and grounds it foul right in front of Joe Espada, the third base coach. Dave Collins coaches over at first base. New supply of baseballs taken out to the plate umpire, Tony Randazzo, by the Philly ball boy. Fans still coming in and filling up the few empty seats. Roy Halladay gets set. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He strikes out Dan Uggla. Well, Dan's slump continues at least for now. That's the first strikeout. Cody Rawson gets out of this with only 1 run scoring in this first inning after the Marlins had loaded the bases with nobody out. That's a moral victory for Roy Halladay. Hanley at second, Sanchez at third. Halladay delivers. And Cody swings and he drives a ball on the ground to the shortstop. Valdez goes to his left, throws on to first base for the out, and that's all the Marlins will get against Halladay in the first inning. That's out number 3. They pick up 1 run on 2 hits, strand 2, and had all the right people up there, but get 1 run out of it. Phillies are coming up on the Marlins Radio Network. Well, the Marlins have a 1-0 lead, and the Philly fans just responding as they get a picture of Michael Layton, the Flyers goaltender, who's here in the crowd tonight to watch the ball game, and they just got a picture of him up on the big board, and he's getting a rousing ovation.
He shaved. They all shaved.
Flyers losing to the Blackhawks last night in overtime.
No more playoff beards.
Shane Victorino to lead it off for the Phillies against Josh Johnson, the 26-year-old right-hander ready to go. Josh makes his first pitch of the night, and it missed outside, ball 1. In the air to left, Coughlin in a couple of steps under it and has it for out number 1. That'll bring Polanco to the plate. Should be a lot of fun. The 2010 Marlins Mermaids Fashion Show Friday at MI6 at Gulfstream Park. Baseman. Hitting the last 5. Here's the pitch. Ground ball sharply struck right at Dan Uggla. Scoops it up, throws to first for the out. 2 quick outs here in the Philly half of the first inning. Yeah, the fans in the right field corner, whether they're in the lower box seats, the second level of the stadium, or the up top. Utley, who got out of the box, slow to get back in, but he's in there. And the pitch. That missed low and outside. So Josh Johnson with 2 outs walks Utley to prolong the first inning. And that brings Ryan Howard up. Howard is 8 for 26 with a double and 2 home runs off Josh. So 2 down. Josh leads 1-0, and here comes Ryan Howard. You look at the top pitchers in the league, As far as earned run average is concerned, Ubaldo Jimenez, he's in a world of his own out there at 0.93. Then Jaime Garcia, the youngster at St. Louis, at 1.47. Then comes Holiday and Johnson, ranking third and fourth in the league and matched up here tonight. Here's the pitch. A swing off the fists, a pop-up. This would be tough play. Hanley coming over toward the left field line. It drops in fair ground. Coming to third, Utley. He'll have to hold up there. And sliding in with a pop-up double. At second base, Ryan Howard. That is tough luck for Josh Johnson. Made a good pitch. Jammed Howard. Popped it up down the left field line. Nobody there because the Marlins shift around to the right. And Hanley had that long run and just couldn't get there. I mean, it seemed as though he ran about 135, 140 feet to try to get to that ball. And it just dropped in fair ground, out of his reach, out of Coughlin's reach, because everybody was pulled to the right side. So Utley is at third base. Howard with a pop-up double at second base. Here's Jason Worth. He got a mental break 2 nights ago. A rain out last night, and Charlie Manuel, the Philly manager, feels he's ready to return to the lineup. 3 for his last 38. Here's the pitch. And a called strike. And in that 3 for 38, 17 strikeouts. Carry it a little bit further, one more game. He's 4 for 41 with 18 strikeouts. And with runners in scoring position, 1 for his last 20. Lousy numbers all around, but Josh has got to pitch him like he's hot as a firecracker. The pitch, swung on, missed. 2 quick strikes on Jason Worth. And I'll tell you, if Josh puts him away here, particularly if he strikes him out and he doesn't hit the ball hard somewhere, Jason Worth's going to be talking to himself the rest of the night. Here comes the pitch, and it's just off the outside edge. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nothing easy for even established players. Jason Worth, an 8-year veteran, to fight out of a slump. Here's the pitch, and it's up high. 2-2. He wouldn't chase it. If Worth gets on, Raul Ibanez, a left-hand batter, he's down at the on-deck circle to our right. Phillies at second and third. Josh delivers to Worth. Worth swings, misses, strike 3. Josh threw him a change and struck him out. And that's all for the Phillies. They strand a couple of runners. 1-0 Marlins after 1 inning of play on the Marlins Radio Network.
Well, the Marlins have a 1-0 lead into the second as they go after Roy Halladay here with Stanton, Paulino, and Johnson coming up. Our broadcast tonight being brought to you in part by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. And by Lauderdale Infinity, the only Infinity dealer on the east side of town. Well, the Marlins had a chance to have a big first inning against Roy Halladay. Loaded the bases with nobody out. They got the sac fly from Jorge Cantu, but Dan Uggla struck out. Cody grounded out, so just the 1 run. And the Phillies leave men at second and third in their half of the first against Josh Johnson. Here's the big right fielder, Mike Stanton, making his second major league start here tonight. Went 3 for 5 in his debut Tuesday. Gets his first look at Roy Halladay. First pitch coming, and he takes a strike. Halladay won a Cy Young Award back in 03 with the Blue Jays, a 6-time All-Star. His 0-1 pitch to Stanton. Ground ball slowly hit toward third, charged by Polanco. Off-bound throw to first, and Stanton is out. Sounded like Stanton might have even broken his bat as that pitch came in on the hands. 1 out here in the second for Ronnie Paulino. It was a 22-pitch first inning for Roy Halladay. Chris Coughlin set the tone with a 6-pitch at bat, starting things off. Delivered a base hit on a 3-2 pitch. In that perfect game, Halladay actually threw 19 pitches in the first inning. Set down the side 1-2-3. Here's Paulino, takes a strike at the knees. Ronnie is hitting at .312, 3 homers, 25 runs batted in. Paulino made the last out of the perfect game, May 29th in Miami, as a pinch hitter. Takes inside for a ball. Paulino was hitting for the pitcher Clay Hensley, actually for Leo Nunez. And he grounded to third to end the ball game. There's a bouncy ball on the right side and through a base hit right field for Paulino. So Ronnie hitting .357 in his last 15 games. Has a base hit here, one out single in the second inning. And here comes Josh Johnson, most likely looking to bunt. Now the Marlins with the early 1-0 advantage here, looking to pad that lead here in the second. But when they grab a lead, they don't want to take the foot off the accelerator as J.J. Squares takes a pitch too high. In this 4-game losing streak, they've had leads, and they just haven't been able to hold them. If you go back to the Saturday game against the Mets at Citi Field, well, they led in that ball game 3-0. Actually, the Friday night game, they were up 3-0. Wound up losing 4-3. There goes the runner. Johnson swinging away, taps one back to the pitcher. Halliday's only play is at first. JJ's out 1-3. Paulino, who's in motion, moves up to second base with 2 down. So the Marlins blew the 3-0 lead on Friday in New York. Then Sunday in New York, they were up 5-0 going to the bottom of the 6th. Lost the game 7-6. And in the series opener here Tuesday night, they gave Chris Volstad a 4-0 advantage into the bottom of the 3rd. But the Phillies came back, won the game 10-8. So getting the leads hasn't been the hard part. Keeping the leads has been the challenge for the Marlins in recent days. Chris Coghlan singled to center in the first inning. He's got himself a season-best 10-game hitting streak now. Batting with Paulino at second, 2 down, takes down an in-ball, 1 from Halliday. 7 multiple-hit games in the 9-game hitting streak coming in, looking for 8 multi-hit games in 10 games, with 1 more hit here tonight. In his last 10 games now, hitting at an even 500. He's 20 for 40 as he takes a strike from Halliday. So that average continues on the rise for Chris Coghlan. He's at 269 now. It wasn't that long ago. He was at 210. Go back to April. He was hitting 123 at one point, 14 games into the season. He's heading home after this ball game. Grew up in the Tampa Bay area. 1-1 pitch is bounced past the mound to his right Utley. Second baseman gathers it in, and he throws Coghlan out to retire the side of the Marlins second. No runs, 1 hit. Marlins leave a man in scoring position. So we're midway through the second in Philadelphia tonight. Marlins 1, Phillies nothing. This is Marlins Baseball on the Marlins Radio Network.
Deals. Exclusions apply. See store for details.
For 35 drought, turned that around in a hurry. But he has struggled against Josh Johnson historically. 1 for 11 against JJ with 4 strikeouts. Ibanez climbs in. JJ kicks and fires, and he misses just outside with a first pitch fastball. Tony Randazzo behind the plate calling the balls and strikes tonight. 1-0 to Ibanez, too far outside again. Brian Gorman, the crew chief, is at first base. Paul Nartz at second. Ted Barrett, the umpire, at third. JJ, a quick worker. 2-ball delivery coming, and it's banged into right field for a base hit by Ibanez. So Raul Ibanez was 5 for 35 coming into this series. Now he's 5 for 6 in 2 games against Marlins pitching. That'll get the shortstop Valdez to the plate with a man at first and nobody out. Third base coach Sam Perlazzo runs through some signals as Valdez keeps his eyes trained on him. Davey Lopes coaches at first for the Phillies. Valdez stepped in. Now he steps out, takes a practice cut, moves back into the batter's box. He's the number 7 man in manager Charlie Manuel's batting order tonight. JJ ready. First pitch on the way, and Valdez watches low for a ball. Valdez has his average up 101 points in his last 16 games. He's at 310 in that span. Was at 152. Now he's at 253. No homers, 9 RBIs. Valdez held at first by Sanchez. JJ's pitch in there for a strike. Defensively for the Marlins with Sanchez at first. Dan Uggla plays second. Hanley's at short. Jorge Cantu's the third baseman. The outfield left to right. Chris Coghlan, Cody Ross, and Mike Stanton Ronnie Paulino is catching Josh Johnson. Pitch on the way, bounce right at the second baseman. Ugla ought to be a double play ball. 4, 6, 3, and just like that, 2 down and the base is empty for the catcher Ruiz. So JJ got the ground ball he was looking for. Phillies wrap into the double play, and Ruiz coming up batting at .293. Want to get to our Preferred Care Partners tip of the day. Regular exercise can reduce tension and mild depression and increase mental alertness. So the moral of the story is exercise regularly. There's a pitch high to Ruiz, ball 1. Ruiz has never hit better than .259 in a big league season. Did that back in '07. Been over .300 most of this year as he takes a strike. He was a career .246 hitter coming into 2010. He's been slumping lately. Right-handed hitter deep in the box. Near the plate, 1-1, had a big rip, and he fouled it back to the screen. He's 2-2 in the air to right field, backing up on it. Stanton, he's there, and he puts away out number 3. So no runs, 1 hit, a double play ball, and nobody left. We're headed to the 3rd inning in Philadelphia, 1-0 Marlins on the Marlins Radio Network. 2, 3, and 4. Sanchez, Ramirez, and Cantu due for the Marlins in the 3rd against Roy Halladay. 1-0. Marlins lead the Phillies here tonight. Halladay making his 2nd start since the perfect game, May 29th in Miami. When he returned to the mound after that perfect game, it was against the Padres here in Philadelphia this past Friday night. He allowed a 2-out single to Adrian Gonzalez in the 1st inning. So thoughts of back-to-back perfect games vanished in a hurry for Halladay. You know, there have been 18 perfect games since 1900, 20 overall, 2 were in 1880, 18 since 1900. And in the 18 since 1900, only 3 pitchers who threw a perfect game retired the side 1-2-3 in the 1st inning the next time out. Gabby stands in, singled his first time, takes inside and low, ball 1. Len Barker with the Cleveland Indians, Randy Johnson with the D-backs, and Mark Burley just last year with the White Sox. 1-0 to Sanchez in there for a strike. Phillies have gone 8-4 in Halladay's first 12 starts this year. He's 8-3, a 2.03 ERA coming in. 1-1 to Gabby, outside and low. Phillies honored Roy Halladay when they came home after that perfect game. What do you give the guy who has everything? 2-1 is bounced toward the shortstop. Valdez has it. Makes a strong, accurate throw to first base. And Gabby's out number 1 here in the 3rd. Here comes Hanley. Well, Roy Halladay, who was an avid outdoorsman, was gifted with a bass fishing trip with famed angler Skeet Reese. And they say he couldn't have been happier. They had a video message from Skeet Reese, who offered him the opportunity to fish with him in his favorite spots in California this offseason. Reese won the 2009 Bassmaster Classic, as many of you know, I'm sure. Hanley hits one in the air to shallow center. Victorino coming hard, still coming into right center, makes the catch. 2 outs. Skeet Reese was the 2007 Angler of the Year. So Halladay's got a Cy Young Award. Skeet Reese, an Angler of the Year award. Sure they'll have a lot to catch up on when they get together this offseason. Here comes Jorge Cantu, whose sac fly in the 1st inning accounted for the game's only run to this point. Jorge's got himself an 8-game hitting streak coming in. Batting at .287, 8 home runs. He's now knocked in 45, and he bounces one back up the middle and into center field. A base hit for Cantu, so making a 9-game hitting streak for Jorge. The Marlins at least 1 hit in each of the first 3 innings. 4 hits in all already to go along with a walk against Halladay. So short of perfection here tonight to this point. Here's Dan Ugla. Well, when the Marlins get home, it'll be the Texas Rangers in town for a 3-game interleague series, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 7-10 games each night. Texas, the first place team, beginning play today in the American League West. You can check the Miami Herald for the 2 for Tuesday coupon and take advantage of 2-for-1 bullpen box seats Call 1-877-MARLINS. Go to Marlins.com to get your Marlins Rangers tickets. Interleague play returning to Sun Life Stadium. There's a strike called to Ugla. We'll have the Rangers and the Rays in for 6. That Tuesday night game against the Rangers will be Michael Stanton's Sun Life Stadium Marlins debut. Hope to see a nice crowd come out and welcome the big man to the big leagues. 0-2 pitch to Ugla in the dirt, gets away from Ruiz, and up to second base goes Cantu. It'll be a wild pitch for Roy Halladay. That's his 4th on the season. He's got half of Philadelphia's 8 wild pitches as a staff. I mentioned Halladay 8-3. He's got 5 complete games and 3 shutouts to his credit already this year. Won't get one tonight. Pitch is inside for a ball. 2-2 to Ugla. So Halladay 5 complete games all by himself. The Angels, the only team in baseball with more complete games than Halladay has individually. The Angels have 6. The Indians as a staff have 5 to equal Halladay. No other team in all of baseball has more than 3 complete games. But Halladay's got 5 all by himself. That time called, Halladay and Ruiz couldn't get together, so the catcher jogs out to the mound. Marlins leading 1-0 here in the top of the 3rd. They've got Cantu at second with 2 down. Ugla looking to pick him up. Our broadcast tonight brought to you by Jiffy Lube, where right now you can save $10 in the Jiffy Lube Signature Service Oil Change every Tuesday. Just stop by your nearest participating Jiffy Lube. No coupon necessary. Not be combined with any other offer or discount. Pitch to Ugla. Ripped foul a long way out of play down the left field line. So stop by Jiffy Lube, the official oil change of the Marlins. And it's $10 off every Tuesday. Ugla went down swinging in the 1st inning. 4 for 11 against Halladay all time, a triple and a homer. 2-2 again, low and in, ball 3 with Cody Ross waiting on deck. Dan Ugla was 0 for 5 amid the 13-hit Marlins explosion here Tuesday night. Halladay's 3-2 in the air to right center field. Pretty well hit. Backing up on it, Worth, short of the warning track, puts it away to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit. And for the 3rd inning in a row, the Marlins leave at least 1 man in scoring position. Midway through inning number 3, 1-0. The Marlins in front of the Phillies on the Marlins Radio Network. Beginning to go down here in Philadelphia as the Marlins lead the Phillies 1-0 into the home half of the 3rd inning. Roy Halladay will get things started against Josh Johnson. JJ now has allowed 2 earned runs in his last 36 innings of work. His last 5 times out, a 3-1 record, a 0.53 earned run average. The one loss, the 1-0 game, the Halladay perfect game, May 29th at Sun Life Stadium. Allowed just a single unearned run in that one. It's his only loss since opening day in New York. First pitch to Roy Halladay, a fastball for strike 1. Halladay is a hitter, 5 out of 39, hitting 128. 1 run batted in, 19 strikeouts and 39 ABs. JJ's 0-1 misses outside and low. Victorino and Polanco, the top 2 men in the batting order to follow here in the Phillies half of the 3rd. Marlins a run on 4 hits. The Phillies no runs on 2 hits. Halladay hits a little ground ball toward first to his right to get it Sanchez. He'll take it himself. Gabby outruns Halladay to the bag, 1 down. There's the center fielder, Victorino. Shane Victorino, 10 home runs already this year. That matches his full season total from 2009. Hit 14, a career high back in 2008. 36 RBIs already for Victorino, who was among the league leaders for a while. His career high 62 last year. The flying Hawaiian, Shane Victorino. JJ's pitch showed bunt, took low, ball 1. Victorino, the switch hitter, batting left-handed against right-hander Josh Johnson. Looking for win number 7 here tonight. His 1-0 over the inside edge. JJ's never lost in this ballpark. This is a very tough place to pitch. But in 5 games, 4 starts here, he's 3-0 with a 2.45 ERA. Filzovich is 2.39 against him in this ballpark as Victorino watches just a little bit low. This is J.J.'s second start against Philadelphia this year. You know about his effort in the Holiday Perfect game. There's a pitch just outside, and the count goes to 3-1 to Victorino. Josh last pitched against the Milwaukee Brewers 1 week ago. Because of the day off and the rain delay, it's been a full week between starts. So J.J. ought to be very fresh here. 3-1, big swing and a foul tip at the plate, 3-2. And that start against the Brewers, he went 7. Allowed a run on 7 hits, walked 3, struck out 8. His 5th straight start in which he allowed 1 run or no runs. Ricky Weeks, a sac fly in the 7th inning. That was the only run that the Brewers managed against J.J. that night. Snapped a run of 31 consecutive innings without an earned run allowed. Now the payoff pitch to Victorino, lashed out toward left center. It's going to get in for a hit, and it is going to split the gap between Coghlan and Ross. Rolls toward the wall. Victorino's into second with a 1-out double. Victorino runs well. Might have been thinking triple, but Coghlan got to it quickly and holds Victorino to a 2-base hit. Victorino now is hit safely in 6 in a row. Now Placido Polanco coming up with Victorino in scoring position and 1 down. Polanco grounded to Dan Uggla in the 1st inning, 1 for 5 in the series. 2 strikeout game from Polanco. Pitch from JJ's in there for a strike. He's in his 13th big league season. Placido Polanco has never struck out more than 46 times in a year. Never. Cameron Maben struck out 56 times already this year. Dan Uggla 57 times. Chris Coghlan 52 times already. This is game number 60. The 0-1 to Polanco. Low for a ball. Polanco has fanned 20 times to this point, so a little bit above his career rate. He's played for the Cardinals, the Phillies, the Tigers, now the Phillies again. 1-1 pitch, fouled off to the right. Polanco's got a knack for putting the bat on the ball. 319 hitter this year, a 304 career batter. He had missed 6 games with some inflammation and a bruise on his left elbow. Came back last weekend against the Padres, playing his 6th game since his return. Takes a fastball inside, and the count goes to 2-2. He's hit safely in every game since his return into this one. And if you go back over his last 8 games, he's hit .424, has that average on the rise again. He's at .317 right now. Right-handed hitter with a speedy Victorino at second and 1 out. 2-2 pitch in the air, shallow right. In comes Stanton. He's under it, and he makes the catch. 2 down, and this Phillies third will be up to Chase Utley, who worked a walk his first time to the plate. Hope you'll be there for the fun of Baker Concrete Super Saturdays throughout this 2010 season. Every home Saturday night, you've got a post-game concert, you've got fireworks, giveaways, autograph sessions, all kinds of fun. Upcoming concerts include Sergio Vargas with Millie Quesada on June 19th and OAR on June 26th. Call 1-877-MARLINS or go online to marlins.com to get your Baker Concrete Super Saturday tickets. Chase Utley, left-handed hitter, had 2 hits here Tuesday night, but hitting .178 over his last 20 games as he takes ball 1 from JJ. Utley is the man who delivered the only run against Johnson in that 1-0 Holiday Perfect game victory May 29th with 1 out and Wilson Valdez at first base. He lifted a fly ball to center that was misplayed by Cameron Maben. There's a line drive to second, knocked down by Uggla, picks it up, hurries to throw to first, and he got him by a step. Dan recovered quickly after he couldn't keep that one in the glove. 1 out double by Victorino goes for naught here in the 3rd inning. We're headed to the 4th now. It's still 1-0 Marlins on the Marlins Radio Network.
After 3 innings of play here at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, a 1-0 lead for Josh Johnson and the Marlins over the Phillies and Roy Halladay. A run on 4 hits for the Marlins, no runs, 3 hits for the Phillies. Cody Ross, Mike Stanton, and Ronnie Paulino for the Marlins here in inning number 4. up against Halliday. Cody grounded out to end the first inning. Marlins had a great opportunity to have a fairly big inning, as big innings go, against Roy Halladay. Here's the pitch to Cody, and it's in there for a strike. Hits by Coghlan and Sanchez to open the game, and a walk to Hanley loaded the bases with nobody out. The Marlins got one run on a sac fly by Jorge Cantu, the fourth batter of the inning. Dan Uggla struck out. Cody grounded out with runners at second and third. Cody takes a ball, and it's a ball and a strike to the Marlins center fielder. Cody swings, misses that good sinker, and a ball and 2 strikes to Cody Ross, who is just 1 for 11 lifetime against Roy Halladay. Breeze is left to right tonight. A warm, humid evening. There's a line drive, base hit up the middle. Now Cody's got a base hit leading off the 4th inning, and hit number 5 allowed by Roy Halladay. All 5 hits are singles. And here comes Michael Stanton. Mike bounced out to third and broke his bat in the 2nd inning. Stanton 3 for 5 in his debut 2 nights ago. The 20-year-old stands in, taps the plate with the bat. He opens his stance, feet well spread. Here comes the pitch, and the pitch is inside. Now he opens the stance, gets a look at the ball, but by the time the ball gets into the hitting zone, he's really straight away. He'll swing that left foot in, part of his timing device. Joe Espada goes through a set of signs there at third base. Cody draws a throw at first base. Cody's 3 out of 4 in stealing bases. Stanton playing in his shirt sleeves, pair of black batting gloves on, number 27 on his back. Swings the bat through the zone. He's ready. Here's the pitch. A swing, a chopper, foul off to the late side. Just got a piece of it. 1-1. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the Florida Marlins LP and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Florida Marlins LP. The pitch. Swing and a foul. That one rolls off to the right side, 2/3 of the way down to first base. Big Ryan Howard comes in, picks it up, tosses it to the ball boy. I guess if you go out for a ball, you're a ball boy. If you go out for a bat, you're the bat boy.
It's a good way to keep track of that.
Here comes the pitch. A swing and a ball slashed foul down the right field line. Back out of play. And now the ball boy brings a new supply of baseballs out to the plate umpire and heads back to the dugout.
Looks like the bat boy. Very similar look.
Here comes the pitch. Stanton swings and misses and goes down on strikes. 0 for 2 on the night for Mike Stanton. The off-speed pitch fooled him. It fools many, Mike. Paulino singled to right in the 2nd inning. Ronnie, who's been so consistent, 29-year-old receiver. He's hit .316 at Sun Life Stadium. He's hit .305 on the road. Actually better than that now because he has a hit tonight. The pitch in there and a called strike. 34th start as a catcher tonight. He is carrying the load, of course. With John Baker injured. The pitch, and that's outside. Baker, while healthy, had caught 20 games for the Marlins and was platooning pretty much with Ronnie Paulino. Since Baker went on the disabled list, Brett Hayes serves as the backup. He's caught 6 games. This is number 34 for Paulino. The pitch, and the big catcher takes one inside, and it's ball 2, 2-1. The count on Ronnie Paulino. Fourth inning of play, 1-0 Marlins.
Sounds like Bake has an appointment on Monday to see Dr. James Andrews in Birmingham. Check that arm out.
The pitch, and it's fouled at the plate.
That's scary. Dr. Andrews is the guy you hear about with Tommy John surgery. Pitchers quite a bit. You don't often hear a lot of good news from Dr. James Andrews. Certainly hope everything turns out for the best for John Baker.
You say that's Monday?
Monday.
Yeah. Pitch is on the way. Ronnie swings, misses, runners going, and Cody steals a base. Paulino goes down on strikes, back-to-back strikeouts, and 3 in the game now for Roy Halladay. And Ross steals the bag. Number 4 for Cody, and here comes Josh Johnson. He'll try to help himself. We'll pause for station identification on the Marlins radio network.
You're listening to Marlins Baseball on WAXY South Miami. This is your Marlins station, 790 The Ticket, a Lincoln Financial Group station.
We're in the top of the fourth inning, 1-0 Marlins, and the pitcher with the lead stands in with a bat in his hands. He takes a strike from Halladay. Josh is now 4 for 24 with the bat. He's knocked in 4 runs. Right side of the infield way back. Outfield not too deep. The pitch to Josh, and that's low and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 outs here in the fourth. Marlins try to snap another 4-game slide. It is their longest losing streak of the season, 4 games. Here's the pitch, and that's in there for a strike to Josh, and the count is 1-2. That was a 93-mile-per-hour fastball that Josh took. Halladay at 6'6". 230. Deals. Josh swings, misses, down on strikes. After the leadoff hit, 3 consecutive strikeouts for Halladay. 4 in the game now. The Marlins midway in the fourth have a 1-0 lead. You're listening to the Marlins radio network. And Josh Johnson's got a 1-0 lead, and the big right-hander will be facing the Phillies. Ryan Howard, Jason Worth, and Raul Ibanez here in inning number 4. We'll check out the Major League standings, brought to you by the Ace Underwriting Group, insurance for all of Florida, because Florida is all they insure. As a result of a win game of the West Division leading Los Angeles Dodgers. Dodgers 36-24. They've won 4 straight, 8 out of 10. And they're the West Division leaders. Cincinnati, the Central Division leaders, they won again today. Have a 1.5 lead on the Cardinals. Braves lead the National League East, 1.5 ahead of these Phillies. Texas, Marlins will see them next week at Sun Life Stadium. They lead the AL West, a game ahead of the Angels, who lost today. Minnesota's got a 5-game lead on the Tigers in the AL Central. Here's the pitch, and against the shift, Howard blooped the double on the left field line back in the first inning. Faces the shift here and takes ball 1. Uggla playing shallow right. Gabby down the line deep behind first. Cantu on the right side. Here's the pitch. Fouled off. Handler remains on the left side. 1-1 the count on Ryan Howard. The double was his 10th of the year. Howard now batting .293 for the season. Who'd we leave out? Oh, Tampa Bay, the next club the Marlins will see starting tomorrow night. Howard lines a ball. Uggla high into the air with a great play. Had to time the leap perfectly. That line drive had some carry to it, and Dan Uggla went way up there and got it. That's a nice play by Uggla to take a hit away from Ryan Howard. 1 down. Jason Worth will bat. Struck out his first time up.
The shift giveth and the shift taketh away. Howard beat the shift with that bloop double down the left field line in the first. The shift just bit him back here in the fourth.
Worth, right-hand hitter. National League doubles leader. Here's the pitch. And a missed inside. That's a ball. Tampa Bay's got a 2-game lead on the Yankees, 5 on Boston in the AL East. That's our look at the standings. Brought to you by the Ace Underwriting Group. Insurance for all of Florida. Florida is all they insure. Visit the Ace Underwriting Group at underwriting.com. 1-1 to Worth. He swings on the next pitch, hits it foul straight back. One ball, 2 strikes. Jason Worth now 4 for his last 42 with 19 strikeouts. Josh delivers a pitch. Worth swings, pops it foul. It's out of play to the right. Worth fouling off the breaking ball.
I was going to say an interesting exchange between Jason Worth and his manager, Charlie Manuel, on Tuesday, talking about Worth and his struggles.
The 1-2 pitch. Worth takes a pitch that's just off the outside corner of the plate. The fastball was up there at 97 miles per hour. JJ's got it going tonight. He leads 1-0. Here's the next pitch, fouled away off to the right.
Before the game on Tuesday, Charlie Manuel was asked if he thought maybe the fact that Worth is going to be a free agent after this year, and he's got a big contract waiting for him, might be weighing on him a little bit. Maybe he's pressing, and the manager said, sure, I don't think there's any question that that's the case. Writers went to Worth after the game that night, asked him what he thought. He said, there's no way. I only play this game one way. I play hard. I play to win every night. I'm not worried about my contract. I'm worried about winning games. He was upset.
The pitch is low and a ball because Charlie's comments were isolated. Charlie had more to say about Jason Worth. Talked about his work ethic, talked about his production, and talked about what a good player he is.
And they talked yesterday, and everybody's on the same page again.
Yeah. The pitch fouled straight back. It's one of those Worth talked for 5 minutes. They took a 10-second sentence out of the 5-minute conversation he had with the writers, and it looked like there was a big thing between Charlie and Jason, and there wasn't. 3-2 pitch. Swing, pop, foul, out of play. This afternoon, Oakland beat the Angels 6-1. Trevor Cahill won his 5th game. White Sox shut out Detroit 3-0. Omar Vizquel hit his first home run of the year. A.J. Pierzynski also homered for the White Sox. Johnny Danks won his 5th. Max Scherzer lost again. He's 2-6. Here's the pitch. And Worth hammers a ball high into the air, right field, back to the track. Stanton in front of the scoreboard, and he's got it. He had another step and a half before he would have been right up against the scoreboard. And Worth is out on a fly ball. 2 down in the 4th. Josh Johnson and the Marlins on top 1-0. Here comes Raul Ibanez. So everybody out of Sunset High School, pay attention now. Raul is at the plate. It's now 5 out of 6 against the Marlins in this series. Came into this thing in a slump. There's a called strike. Reds beat the Giants 7-6 at Cincinnati today with a 3-run 8th inning. Arthur Rhodes the winner in relief. Reds have had 12 wins this year in their last at-bat, the most in Major League Baseball. Strike 2 quickly to Ibanez, who singled to right in the 2nd. Bats here with 2 down, nobody on. Josh's pitch. Swung on and missed, and that's all for Ibanez, and a 1-2-3 inning for Josh Johnson. That strikeout is his 2nd of the night. He leads 1-0 through 4. You're listening to the Marlins Radio Network. Adrian Gonzalez 3 for 4 with a run batted in. What a player. Matt Latos beat Johan Santana. Latos has half a dozen wins now. Henry Blanco hit a 2-run homer to account for the Mets scoring, but Padres won it 4-2. 10-inning game up at Miller Park. The pitch to Coghlan, and a ground ball, 1-hopper back to the mound, gloved calmly and neatly by the pitcher Halladay. Throws to first. Coghlan's out. 1-3 for the out. Coghlan singled up the middle in the 1st inning and scored the Marlins run. That run holding up so far. Here's Gabby. Singled up the middle as well. Grounded out to short in the 3rd. In 10 innings, the Brewers beat the Cubs 5-4. John Axford, the winning pitcher. Bob Howery lost that game. Here's the pitch. And it's in there at the knees and a called strike. Corey Hart hit another home run, leads the league with 16. I believe, doesn't he? Yes. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled off at the plate. So that was in 10 innings. The Brewers beat the Cubs 5-4. Houston won again, beat Colorado 5-4. Why the surprise in my voice? With Roy Oswalt on the mound, you shouldn't be surprised, right? But he's 4-8 now because the Astros have not had a good start. The pitch, swing and a miss. And that's all for Sanchez. And now Roy Halladay has struck out 4 of the last 5 batters that he has faced. 5 strikeouts in the game. Hanley Ramirez coming up, walked in the first, flied to center in the third. The surprise, and perhaps not so, but the surprise is, I believe Houston has now won 8 of 10. So they're starting to put a little roll together. Here's a pitch to Hanley. It's in there for a strike. Atlanta, as Geff told you, beat Arizona 11-7. Peter Moylan, the winning pitcher. Dontrell Willis started that game out at Chase Field. The wind, the pitch, and that's low and inside. Willis went 4 innings through 95 pitches, only gave up 2 runs on 3 hits, but he walked 6 in 4 innings. Had 2 strikeouts. But the pitcher of the day for Arizona, the pitch and a line drive back to the mound. Wow. Hanley ripped the cover off the ball, lined it right back, and hit Halladay in the glove. 3 up, 3 down, nothing for the Marlins here in the 5th inning. Get back to Dontrell and the Diamondbacks in a moment. We're midway through the 5th, 1-0 Marlins on the Marlins Radio Network. Into the bottom of inning number 5. It'll be the bottom third of the Phillies order for Josh Johnson, who leads 1-0. Let's see, what were we talking about? Dontrell and the Arizona loss today. Dontrell didn't lose that game for them, although 95 pitches in 4 innings, not really good. He only gave up 2 runs. But the pitcher that replaced Dontrell, Cesar Valdez, worked 2/3 of an inning, gave up 5 runs, all earned on 6 hits and a walk in the span of 32 pitches. A 5-run 5th, and Atlanta rode that. Now Arizona came back, got some runs, and made it a ball game, but Atlanta won at 11-7. The pitch to Wilson Valdez, a called strike. He hit into a double play his first time up. Nationals lead the Pirates top of the 5th inning down at Nationals Park. 2-0 Nationals. The pitch, and that's low. That's Zach Duke for Pittsburgh. Levon Hernandez for the Nationals. Padres and the Mets second game and 4. Mets lead at 3-0. Jonathan Neese, ground ball to third. Cantu up with this, fires to first. Valdez is out. 1 down. Carlos Ruiz will be the batter. Over in the American League at Camden Yards, the Yankees lead the Orioles 3-2, end of 4. That's A.J. Burnett against Jake Arrieta. Arrieta's their 5th-round pick in 07, just up from Norfolk. Hot shot prospect, pitching for Baltimore tonight. Great numbers at Norfolk. But it's 3-2 Yankees, end of 4. Here's the pitch, and a strike called on Ruiz. Red Sox are leading the Indians 5-2 in the bottom of the 3rd inning at Cleveland. The pitch, that's low. That's John Lester and Mitch Talbot. Blue Jays lead the Rays 2-1, middle of the 4th at the Trop. Rangers 3, Mariners nothing. 1st inning in Texas. The Royals and Twins just underway, no score. And we're up to date on all of the scores. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Ruiz, and he takes a strike on the inside edge, and it's 2-2. Our broadcast tonight brought to you in part by Simple Green. Use biodegradable, non-toxic Simple Green to keep your gear clean. Simple Green cleans at the speed of light. Josh delivers Low and outside, a changeup that is taken by Ruiz for ball 3, 3-2. Fifth inning of play here. Josh Johnson and the Marlins ahead, 1-0. And the pitch swung on and missed him. Ruiz goes down on strikes. Josh struck him out with the slider. 2 down, and strikeout number 3 for Josh. And Roy Halladay will bat. We're in the fifth inning of this and every Marlins broadcast brought to you by your good friends at Subway. Play hard, eat fresh at Subway. Pitch to Halladay, who grounded to first his first time up, is low, ball 1. Josh back with a pitch. Misses outside. Again, a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. When he really turns it loose, that's where he's been so far tonight, with the fastball at 97. Next pitch in and over for a strike. That 97-mile-an-hour pitch split the plate, I believe. 2 down and 2-1 the count on Halladay. And it's in there for a strike, and the count goes to 2-2. Our look at the out-of-town scores brought to you by Corona. Kick back and relax with an ice cold Corona and lime. Relax responsibly. Here's a bounding ball to the right side, picked up responsibly by Dan Uggla. Thrown to first Cooley for the out, and that's all. 4-3 for Halladay in a 1-2-3 inning. The Phillies are gone, and Josh Johnson's got a 1-0 lead here in Philadelphia. You're listening to the Marlins Radio Network.
Oh, two of the best pitchers in baseball locked up in another terrific pitchers duel tonight here in Philadelphia. Josh Johnson and Roy Halladay into the 6th inning. JJ and the Marlins have a 1-0 lead tonight, looking to turn the tables after Halladay beat him 1-0 May 29th, perfect game. This is the second time Johnson and Halladay have matched up this year. JJ's matched up twice with Johan Santana. And outside of that opening day ball game, the Mets won 7-1. Each of the 3 games have been terrific, low-scoring nail-biters. The Marlins beat Santana and the Mets 2-1 back on May 13th. You had the 1-0 loss to Halladay last time. Now the 1-0 lead into the 6th inning here tonight with Cantu, Uggla, and Ross to face right-hander Halladay. Halladay at 70 pitches, 47 strikes into the 6th inning tonight. Right-hander kicks and fires, and there's strike 1 over the outside corner. Now, the first 3 Marlins hitters of the ball game all reached base. Coghlan singled, Sanchez singled, Ramirez walked. Cantu followed with a sac fly. That's the only run in the game so far as Jorge takes outside and low. And beginning with that sac fly, after the first 3 men had reached against him, Halladay had set down 15 of 18, including each of the last 6 straight. 1-1, bends outside. Ball 2 to Cantu. Halladay's allowed to run on 5 hits through 5 with a walk and 5 Ks. He's a quick worker, just like Josh Johnson is. 2-1 to Cantu. Grounded past the mound. Charged by the shortstop. Valdez has to hurry, but he gets Cantu by a couple of steps. So Jorge 1 for 2 in the ball game. A single, the sac fly, and now a ground ball to the shortstop. 1 out in the 6th inning for Dan Uggla. A run on 5 hits for the Marlins. No runs on 3 hits for the Phillies as we play the 6th inning here tonight. Heading to Tropicana Field for the weekend, 3 against the Rays, and Freddie Gonzalez today announcing his intention to juggle the starting rotation just a little bit with that series coming up against the Rays, because he had a day off earlier this week. He had the rain out yesterday, so he's got some flexibility. Pitches inside and low to Dan Uggla. And what Freddie's going to do, Nate Robertson would have pitched the Saturday night game at Tropicana Field, but he's going to skip Nate in the rotation, move into the bullpen for a few days, which is low for a ball to Uggla. Gives you some length in that bullpen. Gives you another left-hander in that bullpen, because right now Taylor Tanker's the only lefty the Marlins have among their relievers. Keeps everybody else on schedule. 2-0 pitch to Uggla. Ground ball third base side, a foul ball. So it'll be Anibal Sanchez tomorrow night against the Rays, against right-hander James Shields. Saturday, Ricky Nolasco will face Matt Garza. And then Sunday, it'll be Chris Volstad and unbeaten Jeff Neiman, 6-0 on the year for the Rays. So we'll see Tampa Bay's 3 best starters in that series. 2-1 pitch to Uggla. Checked his swing. He went around. So says Tony Randazzo, the home plate umpire. 2-2 now. Then Josh Johnson will come back on regular rest and pitch the opening game of the upcoming homestand against the Rangers. He'll pitch on Tuesday. Halladay, the 2-2 to Dan, and Uggla rounds it behind the bag at third. Nice play by Polanco near the line. Strong throw to first, and Uggla's out on a close play. Dan is 0 for 3 tonight. He is 0 for 8 in this series and just 3 for 21 on the road trip. A couple of ground ball outs to begin this 6th inning. Cantu to short, Uggla to third. And now Cody Ross coming up. Cody singled in the 4th, stole a base. He's 1 for 2. Marlins have stolen a couple of bases here tonight. Coming into this one, Halladay had only allowed 2 stolen bases all season. 2 and 4 tries. But Cody and Hanley with stolen bases tonight. There's a strike at the knees to Ross. Start him off with the changeup. Got to have base runners to steal bases against Roy Halladay, don't you? Last time out, Marlins didn't have any in 9 innings. The 0-1 is in there for a strike. So Cody taking first changeup, now a fastball in a 2-strike hole with the bases empty, 2 down. Halladay's retired 8 in a row, 17 in the last 20, but he trails 1-0 in the top of the 6th. 0-2 to Ross, too far inside. Cody jumps back. Mike Stanton waiting on deck. Halladay peers in for the sign from his catcher Carlos Ruiz. Now he's ready to go. The 1-2. Fly ball, shallow right. Out goes Utley. In comes Worth. The right fielder takes charge, and he puts it away. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Halladay. So the Marlins go in order again for the 2nd consecutive inning. And now we're headed to the bottom of the 6th in Philadelphia. It'll be Victorino, Polanco, and Utley. Top 3 coming up for the Phillies. They trail the Marlins 1-0 on the Marlins Radio Network. Well, a 1-0 ball game. Josh Johnson looks to do something no Marlins starting pitcher has done since the last time Josh Johnson pitched, and that is get through 6 innings. J.J. carries that 1-0 lead into the bottom of the 6th here in Philadelphia tonight. Now, J.J. in his last start, last Thursday at home against the Brewers, went 7, won the game 3-2. He allowed just 1 run. But this next time through the rotation, since J.J.'s last start, no other Marlins pitcher has made it through 6 innings as a starter. Anibal Sanchez went 5 2/3 Friday night in New York. Nate Robertson 4 2/3 Saturday against the Mets. Ricky Nolasco just 5 1/3 on Sunday. And then Chris Volstead 4 innings plus in the series opener here Tuesday night. So J.J. looking to get through the 6th. Has a 3-hit shutout, just a 1-0 lead though, as Victorino stands in. First pitch coming, and it's popped foul behind. So for all the heat the bullpen has been taking of late, to me, it's been the short starts that have made it really tough for that bullpen to be successful. The 0-1 to Victorino, fastball caught the inside edge. Victorino disagrees, rolls his eyes. Shane a double in 2 at-bats. Howard a double in the 1st inning. Ibanez a single in the 2nd. Victorino a double in the 3rd. The only hits for the Phillies. Victorino watches low. Josh has retired the last 8 straight since that Victorino double in the 3rd. He's retired 11 of the last 12. He's rolling. 1-2 pitch. Ground ball into the hole at short. Hanley's got it to his right. Strong throw to first in time to get the fast runner Victorino. 1 out. Here comes Placido Polanco. Well, Major League Baseball and People Magazine are recognizing individuals who make a difference in their communities. Go to peopleallstars.com and vote for your favorite everyday All-Star who could represent the Marlins and be honored at the 2010 All-Star Game, July 13th in Anaheim. You can watch it on Fox. Polanco 0 for 2 in this one. Watches a strike. Just 3 for 19 against Marlins pitching this year.
Case in point, what you're talking about, Chris Volstead start the other night. A 4-0 lead against the Phillies. And in the span of 14 batters, he gave up 6 runs.
And the game turned as Polanco fouls one back. And people want to look at the end of that game and say what happened with Hensley and Tankersley in the 8th inning. But when your starter only goes 4 innings, you're saying your bullpen needs to get you 15 outs tonight. And there's not a bullpen anywhere that's equipped to do that on a regular basis. The 0-2 pitch to Polanco outside and low. So that's why you turn to your ace, Josh Johnson, and hope he'll get you deep into the ballgame here tonight. And he's on his way to doing that. You wish he had a little bit more run support, not much margin for error, especially in this great hitter's ballpark here in Philadelphia. A 1-0 lead, one out into the bottom of the sixth. 1-2 to Polanco. Bounce back to the mound. J.J. spears it. A couple of steps toward first. He'll underhand to Sanchez. And there are 2 outs now in the sixth. So through 5 2/3, J.J.'s given up 3 hits, no runs. He's walked 1. He struck out 3. He's at 84 pitches right now, 51 strikes. The pitch count's still very manageable for Josh. He's thrown as many as 121 in his start. Did that 2 outings ago against these Phillies. That was over 7. He threw 117 in his complete game win against the Padres back on April 26th. Here's Utley. A walk and a ground ball to second, 0 for 1 officially. And he takes a strike. Chase Utley over the last 5 years has averaged .301, 29 homers, 101 RBIs, and 111 runs scored. Watches the pitch just below the knees. A ball. 1-1. He's got a huge lead at second base in all-star balloting, nearly 1 million votes ahead of the number 2 man. Chase Utley well on his way to starting another all-star game. There's a little number off the hands toward the first baseman. Up with it, Sanchez tosses to J.J. covering, and it's another 1-2-3 inning for Josh and the Marlins. Phillies' top third goes very quietly. A ground ball to short, a ground ball to the pitcher, and a ground ball to first. We head to the 7th. Still, J.J. and the Marlins 1. Halladay and the Phillies nothing on the Marlins Radio Network. Well, 4 batters into this ball game. Jorge Cantu lifted a sac fly that gave the Marlins a 1-0 lead. That lead holds up into the top of the 7th now. Marlins looking for more against Roy Halladay as they try to earn a split of this rain-shortened 2-game series against the Phillies. Marlins lost 10-8 Tuesday night. This ball game certainly resembling the 3 we played in Miami a couple of weekends ago, when in 3 games the 2 teams combined for 7 runs and 31 hits. We saw 18 runs and 26 hits here Tuesday night in the series opener. Stanton is 0 for 2. He's grounded to third and struck out against Halladay. Right-handed hitter. And the first pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. Stanton has not done a lot of first pitch swinging since making his debut here Tuesday night. Went after the first pitch fastball. Couldn't catch up to it. The 0-1 missed outside and low. Mike Stanton was hitting .311 at AA Jacksonville, 9th in the league. Led the Southern League with 21 homers. Led all of baseball, minor league, major league in home runs. Pitch low for a ball. It's 2-1. Led the league with 52 RBIs in 52 games. Led the league with 44 walks. Led the league in on-base percentage. Led the league by nearly 200 points in slugging percentage. 2-1, swing and a miss. He chased one low and away. 323 minor league games for Mike Stanton since he was drafted in the 2nd round back in 07. Just under 1,200 minor league at-bats. Now, his 8th at-bat in the major leagues. There's a line drive into center. Victorino comes on, and he makes the catch shoulder high. So Stanton hit it sharply right at Victorino, 1 out. And now 10 in a row retired by Halladay. Both pitchers on a good roll here. Halladay 10 straight set down. JJ's retired the last 11, 14 out of 15. Not a good night to be a hitter in Philadelphia. But we knew that coming in. Here's Ronnie Paulino. And there's ball 1, just missed. Crowd has not had a lot to get excited about here. Another full house, 71st in a row, but very quiet. 1-0, swing and a miss. From advanced storage systems, hydraulic shears, to pneumatic tools, and even high-tech security, Stanley is way more than just great hand tools. Stanley, the official tools of the 2010 Marlins. Top of the 7th, Marlins 1, Phillies nothing. Paulino swings and misses way out in front of a changeup. Roy Halladay, 6'6", 230 pounds, 33 years old in his 12th big league season. 11 with the Blue Jays, now in his first year as a Philly. On the 1-2, Paulino takes a fastball away. Ubaldo Jimenez leads the major leagues with 11 wins. David Price of the Rays won his 9th game last night. Halladay looking for win number 9 here tonight, looking to become the 3rd major league pitcher to 9 wins this season. Missed away to Paulino. Now the count goes full. Josh Johnson's on deck. Both bullpens quiet. They have been all night. Both starting pitchers have been in command pretty much from the get-go. Pitch is over the outside edge. Called strike 3 to Paulino. It took Halladay 4 hitters to get warmed up in this one tonight. And the Marlins took advantage of the game's only run. That's 6 strikeouts now for the right-hander. And here comes Josh Johnson 0 for 2. JJ matching up twice against Halladay, twice against Santana, meaning he's got to hit against those elite aces. And he takes outside and low for a ball. He's 4 for 25 as a hitter. 3 of his 4 hits and 3 of his 4 RBIs came in one game against the Padres back on April 26th when he threw the complete game. Takes a strike. Struck out a career-high 12 through his 4th career complete game. And for good measure, led a 12-hit attack with 3 hits and 3 driven in. 1-1 to JJ. Just missed the outside corner. Halladay knocking on the door of 100 pitches. He's about to throw number 98 with 2 outs here in the 7th, and the base is empty. He's down a run. 2-1 to Josh is low. Ball 3. Chris Coghlan on deck. Phillies pitching's been very good, especially since the 1st of May. After a rocky April, 35 games since May 1st, the Phillies a 3.34 team ERA. There's a strike call to Josh. Counts full now. Phillies for the season with a 3.72 team earned run average, leading the way, of course, Halladay. Payoff pitch to Johnson, and it's a ground ball into left field. A base hit. He shot it past the third baseman Polanco, who lunged to his left to try to get it, couldn't come up with it. So Josh Johnson delivers the 6th Marlins hit in the ball game. And he's aboard with 2 outs. He's going to make Halladay work a little bit harder here in the top of the 7th. That'll get Chris Coghlan to the plate. He's got a single and 3 at-bats. He scored the game's only run in the 1st. Went to 2nd on a base hit by Gabby Sanchez. Went to 3rd and a walk to Hanley. Came home on the sac fly to right field by Cantu. First baseman Howard's going to play behind Johnson. Doesn't expect him to be going anywhere. Halladay ready. Coghlan shows bunt, and he bunts right through it. Strike 1. Chris with a 10-game hitting streak after that first inning single. Halladay's 0-1 to Coghlan. Rolled foul off to the right. Got a 44,479 here tonight. 71st consecutive sellout at Citizens Bank Park. Streak began last season. They sold out every home game so far this year. Got almost 400 more people here than we had Tuesday night. 0-2 Halladay to Coghlan, and it just missed inside.
Coghlan missed a bunt the other night, a bunt attempt when Freddie had a squeeze play on. Fortunately, he fouled it off, but unfortunately didn't get the bunt down, which would have resulted in another run for the Marlins.
There's a ball flared out into center field. Victorino coming on, and the 2-time Gold Glover puts it away to retire the side. So no runs, a hit, and a man left. We reach the 7th inning stretch, which is presented by the Dominican Republic Ministry of Tourism. The Dominican Republic has it all at the stretch tonight in Philadelphia. It's the Marlins 1 and the Phillies nothing on the Marlins Radio Network. Well, Josh Johnson sails into the bottom of the 7th. He's working on a 3-hit shutout. He's retired 11 in a row, 14 out of 15. But with just a 1-run lead, 1-0, he's got to face Ryan Howard, Jason Worth, and Raul Ibanez in the Phillies half of the 7th. So no margin for error at all for the big right-hander, JJ, who just continues to roll on with the 6 scoreless innings so far tonight. At this point, J.J. has lowered his season ERA to 1.95. As great as J.J. was last year, particularly in the first half of the season, he's off an even better start so far here in 2010. He's at 87 pitches, having thrown 53 strikes so far through the first 6 in this one. And boy, the way he's going, there's no reason to believe that Josh wouldn't be headed to a second consecutive All-Star game. Still got a few more weeks before that all becomes finalized. A lot can happen between now and then, but J.J., who was named to the All-Star team last year but didn't get into the game, could very well be headed to Anaheim in the All-Star game again this year. Not many pitchers having the kind of year Josh Johnson is so far. Looking to keep it going here tonight. Ryan Howard digs in. Big swing and a miss on a high hard one. Strike one. Josh started him off with a 94-mile-per-hour fastball about letter high. The shift is on. Howard beat that shift with a fly ball double down the left field line in the first. And he goes the other way again. Lashes this one out of play into the second level. Back over the third base dugout, 0-2. The shift beat Howard, though, in the fourth inning with Dan Ugla stationed out in shallow right field. Howard hit a line drive that way, and Dan went as high as he could, was able to pull it down. There's a swing and a miss and a high fastball. Howard strikes out, and J.J. has the first out here in the 7th. Strikeout number 4 for Johnson. Power versus power, and J.J. wins the duel. Now Jason Worth 0 for 2 tonight, 3 for his last 40. Came into this one hitting 187 over his last 26 games. But he was so hot early on that even with the recent struggles, he still leads the National League with 33 extra base hits. He's 6th in the league in slugging percentage. He's a dangerous hitter, and he takes ball 1. 36 homers, 99 RBIs last year. Remember, we were here at the end of the regular season. Couldn't knock in his 100th in the final day. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Phillies gave almost all the starters the day off on the final day of the season, getting ready for the playoffs. But Worth was in there for a few at-bats trying to knock in his 100th run. I think he had 3 or 4 ABs. Game went extra innings. Finally came out, but he couldn't get number 100. 1-1. He tried to hold up, but I think he went around, didn't he? Yes, he did. They appeal to first, and Brian Gorman, the crew chief, says strike 2. J.J. has struck out Howard to begin his 7th. Now ahead of Worth, a ball and 2 strikes, with Ibanez waiting on deck. 1-0 Marlins, home half of the 7th. The 1-2 missed away. Talking about those hockey playoff beards earlier. Jason Worth's beard looks like a playoff beard. J.J.'s 2-2 missed a little bit outside. Counts full. Philly fanatic prancing around atop the Phillies dugout on the first base side, trying to get the fans going a little bit here. Phillies no runs, 3 hits. They've had 4 base runners all night against Josh Johnson. Payoff pitch, and Worth hits one foul off to the right, back up into the seats. Light has fallen on Philadelphia. We're at the bottom of the 7th. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Back-to-back strikeouts to start the 7th for Johnson. Howard and Worth.
Got Howard with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Got Jason Worth there with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
So on pitch number 97, he hits 97 on the radar gun. And Josh now with a lucky 13 in a row set down, looking to make it 14 straight as he goes after Ibanez. A base hit in the 2nd. A strikeout in the 4th. That strikeout in the 4th inning is the 2nd time he's been retired in this series. He's 5 for 7 against the Marlins. And he hits one in the air to center field. Playable out there for Cody Ross. Couple of steps into right center. He's under it. And it's a 1-2-3 7th for Johnson. J.J. rolls on with the shutout. We're headed to the 8th. Marlins 1, Phillies nothing on the Marlins Radio Network.
Into inning number 8. The run the Marlins scored back in the first inning holds up. A 1-0 game. And both starters are still in the game. Roy Halladay for the Phillies. Josh Johnson for the Marlins. Marlins on top 1-0 with that run in the first. Coghlan singled up the middle. Went to second on a Gabby Sanchez base hit up the middle. Then Hanley Ramirez drew a walk to load the bases with nobody out. Jorge Cantu, the next batter, delivered a sac fly to score Coghlan. That's it in scoring tonight so far. Sanchez 1 out of 3. Gabby with that hit in the first inning. Since then he's grounded out and struck out. And the windup by Halladay in the pitch. And it misses low and a ball. Halladay starting Gabby off with a changeup. Activity in the Philadelphia bullpen. None in the Marlins bullpen. Here's the pitch. And there's a called strike. And it's 1-1.
Halladay would be due to hit third in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Comes the next pitch, and it's fouled off by Gabby. The Ace Underwriting Group, Florida's insurance source, serving all of Florida because Florida is all they insure. Whether you're looking for auto, condo, business, or home, get great rates and great service from folks right here in Florida. Find out more. Visit underwriting.com. The pitch. Little number back toward the mound. Up with it. Halladay throws to first for the out. Gabby retired 1-3. Hanley comes up. Walked in the first inning. Flied out to center in the third. Lined out to the mound in the fifth. So, no matter what, I mean, this is going to be a pretty exciting conclusion to this game, isn't it? If it is indeed about to be concluded. Josh Johnson and Roy Halladay coming back to meet once again. Been a pitcher's night. Strike one to Hanley. Cantu to follow the pitch. Hanley takes low. Anibal Sanchez goes tomorrow night against James Shields. Ricky Nolasco gets Matt Garza in the Saturday night game. Sunday afternoon, Chris Volstad against Jeff Neiman. The pitch. Low and outside. I believe Jeff told you that Nate Robertson will not take his turn this time around in the rotation. He will be available for bullpen duty, long relief, over the weekend if needed. 2-1 the count on Hanley. The pitch. Ramirez takes and it's a strike. 2-2. Roy Halladay throwing some breaking balls here to Hanley. Halladay pivots on that right foot. First base edge of the rubber. Delivers the pitch. Gets it over. Strike three called. Hanley gets called out on strikes. 7 strikeouts for Roy Halladay.
That was his 113th pitch. He's thrown as many as 132 in an outing this year. His next time out, he was shelled by the Red Sox. People thought he was throwing too many pitches. Bounced back with the perfect game. Showed he's okay.
The pitch to Cantu, swung on and missed. Breaking ball. Jorge delivered the run with a sac fly in the first inning, singled in the third inning, grounded out in the sixth, though officially 1 for 2 with the sac fly. Here's the pitch, and that's low. Well, the bottom of the 8th inning, you've got the bottom third of the Philly order coming up. So there are 2 things that Josh Johnson and company cannot avoid: the bottom third of the order and the top third of the order. Here's the pitch. And there's a called strike on Cantu, and the count goes to 1-2. Jorge steps out to discuss it with Tony Randazzo. From advanced storage systems to hydraulic shears to pneumatic tools, even high-tech security, Stanley is way more than great hand tools. Stanley, the official tools of the Marlins. The pitch to Cantu, low again. 2-2. As a result of last night's rainout, the Marlins and the Phillies on Labor Day will play a doubleheader here. And as a result of that Rain out as well. We're not seeing Jamie Moyer tonight. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul tip held by the catcher Ruiz. And a 1-2-3-8 for Roy Halladay. Now we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. 1-0 Marlins. Josh Johnson will be taking on the bottom third of the Philadelphia batting order. Charlie Manuel faced with the decision. He'll probably pinch hit for Halladay. You're listening to the Marlins Radio Network. Matt Horn along with Glenn Geffner. Here we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Josh Johnson is out there. He's thrown 98 pitches. He leads 1-0 on a run the Marlins scored in the first inning. Cashing in a leadoff hit by Chris Coghlan with the bases loaded. Jorge Cantu delivered a sac fly. The only run the Marlins have gotten so far. The Phils have gotten none. 14 in a row retired by Josh. He'll face Wilson Valdez, Carlos Ruiz, and then more than likely a pinch hitter. Valdez coming up. 32-year-old veteran of 5 major league seasons, parts of 5 spread over 183 games. Here's the pitch. Valdez swings, foul tip, strike 1. White Sox, Seattle, San Diego, Dodgers, Mets, Phillies. Here's the pitch to Valdez. A swing here and a fly ball right center. Going back, Cody Ross under it and has it. Some defensive changes for the Marlins. Brian Barton is into the game to play at third base. Jorge Cantu has gone over to play at first base. Gabby Sanchez is out of the game. 1 out. And Carlos Ruiz, the Philly catcher, will bat. We'll pause for station ID on the Marlins Radio Network.
You're listening to Marlins Baseball on WAXY South Miami. This is your Marlins station, 790 The Ticket, a Lincoln Financial Group station.
Josh has now retired 15 in a row. There's a called strike on Ruiz, who has flied to right and been called out on strikes. Ruiz, right-hand hitting catcher. The pitch right over the outside edge, a strike. Got the slider on the outside corner. He's had everything working well for him tonight. And the pitch. And he sailed that pitch up high. His fastball has been 95, 96, 97 all night. Good hard slider going tonight. A few changeups. Here's the pitch. And that missed inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Ruiz. And out at the on-deck circle, here's Johnson's pitch. And a ball chopped toward third. Charged by Barton. Has it. Gets the grip. Throws to first for the out. The sure-handed, quick-footed Brian Barton. I mean, a marvelous defensive player. Here is Greg Dobbs to hit for Halladay. So Halladay finishes his night, and Dobbs pinch hits for the Philly pitcher.
Halladay, 8 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, 118 pitches. He retired 15 of the final 16, and after the first 3 batters of the game reached and the Marlins got their only run, he set down 24 of 28. Didn't do much wrong, but like J.J. back on May 29th, made 1 mistake.
Here's the pitch, and Dobbs takes a called strike. Dobbs pinch hitting in this 9th spot. He's batting 140. He's got a home run and 5 batted in. The pitch swung on, foul tip, strike 2. Dobbs is 1 for 23 pinch hitting. Just a terrible year so far coming off the bench for this left-hand hitter, veteran Greg Dobbs. 2 outs, nobody on in the 8th. Josh Johnson leading 1-0. He delivers a pitch, and it's up high. Josh missing high with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. And this next pitch will be number 110 for Josh. Here's the 1-2. Swing, pulled foul to the Philly dugout. Down to our right. Sellout crowd, 71st consecutive sellout here, 44,479. Not too many folks have left this week. 7th year the Phillies have played here in Citizens Bank Park. Here's a 1-2. Dobbs swings and a ground ball foul outside of first base. Cantu over there to glove the ball. He'll toss it to a fan. And the count stays at 1-2 to Greg Dobbs. Dobbs steps out. And the thing is, as good as Josh has been, there is just no margin for error in this game with him in a 1-0 game. Dobbs back in. Here's Josh's pitch. Taken low. And the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. On deck, the leadoff hitter, Shane Victorino. Dangerous for a lot of reasons. He can hit the ball out of the park. He can hit the ball into the gaps. And with speed, he flies. Here's the pitch. And a bounding ball to the left side. Barden charges, picks it up, throws on the run, and out at first is Dobbs. 5-3. And a 1-2-3 8th inning for Josh Johnson. 17 in a row retired by the big right-hander. He leads 1-0, and we go to the 9th on the Marlins Radio Network. Well, the Philadelphia Phillies send Dennis Baez out to the mound. Greg Dobbs pinch hit for Roy Halladay. So Baez comes into the game to make his 27th appearance. A 2-2 record, a 4.32 earned run average. He's given up 26 hits in 25 innings. He's walked more than he has struck out. In the 25 innings, he's struck out 11. He's walked 12. Now maybe the Marlins can put something up on the board other than that first inning run, which is holding up so far. 1-0 here in the 9th inning. Dan Uggla, Cody Ross, and Mike Stanton coming up against the right-hander. Baez ready, and the pitch to Uggla. Breaking ball for a strike. Dan's had a very frustrating night at the plate. He's not alone. Struck out in the first, flied out in the third, bounced out in the 6th. Baez sets, deals. He works out of the stretch. This is low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Josh Johnson has a warm-up jacket on, a towel in hand, and players have shook his hand, given him a big hug. The Marlins will go to Leo Nunez for the 9th. The pitch. A swing, a pop foul back out of play. You just hope that the Marlins don't look back on that first inning opportunity when they had the bases full. First 3 hitters reached base against Halladay with nobody out and got 1 run out of it. That 1 run has carried this game to the 9th inning. Here's the pitch, and it's up high. So with all the talk of perfect games and no-hitters and things of that sort, the 1-0 game, a rarity. There's the pitch. Swing and a foul ball off to the left side. Bounces right to the Marlins dugout. Uggla out. Out of the batter's box. A run on 6 hits for the Marlins. No runs, 3 hits for the Phillies. The pitch. Uggla slams the ball down the left field line, but a foul ball. At Geico, you have a choice of ways you could save on car insurance. Call 1-800-947-AUTO. Go online to geico.com or stop by the Geico office nearest you. The pitch. Uggla swings, pops 1 foul off out of play to the right. He's been on several pitches, but hasn't managed to do anything other than foul them off. Baez was ready, then he stepped off the pitching rubber. Now the right-hander sets again. 2-2 to Dan, and another ball pulled foul on the ground down behind third base. And it shoots on down the line. Very few fans have left the ballpark here in a 1-0 game. The pitch. And that's fouled off at the plate. Took a bite of Dan's front foot. Bills lost a 1-0 game to Anibal Sanchez, the game Moyer pitched in Miami. There's a pitch fouled away to the right. Remember, there were back-to-back 1-0 games, the Halladay perfect game, and then Anibal Sanchez and company over Jamie Moyer the very next day. That Sunday game, May 30th. The pitch. Uggla checks his swing and appeal at first, no swing. So Uggla is still alive up there. And I believe a quick check shows that they are the only two 1-0 games the Phils have been involved in. Here's the pitch to Dan Uggla. A swing here and a ball driven out into right center. Worth goes back at the wall, leaps, and it is gone. A home run for Dan Uggla. 2-0 Marlins on Uggla's 14th of the year. Just out of the reach of Worth. Just over the top of the fence at the scoreboard in right center. Well, you wish for an insurance run, you get it. And believe me, everybody down in that Marlins dugout was hoping for some insurance. That's one. The pitch, called strike. Cody Ross, 1 out of 3 on the night, singled up the middle in the 4th inning, stole second and was stranded. The pitch. Foul ball back. I had mentioned during the course of the at-bat that Uggla was on a lot of the Dennis Baez pitches and just fouling them off. Well, he finally got one, and he hit one of those opposite field home runs. Dan connecting to deep right center. Two quick strikes on Cody. The pitch. Over, strike 3 called. Now Mike Stanton with 1 out. Stanton comes up for the 4th time. He has grounded out, struck out, and lined out. Hit the ball right on the nose the last time up, but lined out to Victorino, the center fielder. Baez from the stretch delivers in tight to Stanton. He had to back away and tuck his hands in to stay out of the way of that one. Halladay, 8 innings, 118 pitches, 1 run earned, 6 hits, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. Here's the pitch. Swing and a chopper. It's going to go toward third. It's foul. Stanton ran it out and ran it out hard. Halladay lowered his earned run average to 1.96. Josh Johnson went 8 innings. Pitched shutout ball, scattered 3 hits early, walked just 1, struck out 5, and he lowered his earned run average to 1.91. Boy, talk about a pitcher's battle. Johnson and Halladay. You go back to the last meeting, isn't that something? 2 classy right-handers going up against one another in close proximity. The May 29th game. Here's the pitch, fouled straight back. The perfect game at Sun Life Stadium, a 1-0 win for Halladay. And tonight, into the 9th inning, 1-0 Johnson. Now it's 2-0 Johnson. Stanton fouling 1 back, 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch to Mike, breaking ball, missed low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch. Stanton swings and misses. That pitch was down and away, and that's only the first or second time that we've seen it tonight where he really changed a pitch that was out of the zone. This one struck him out. So a couple of strikeouts for Baez to go along with the home run he served up to Dan Uggla. And with 2 down, Ronnie Paulino 1 for 3. Got a hit back in the 2nd inning, and since then has struck out twice. If I'm not mistaken, the 2 1-0 games between the Marlins and the Phillies at Sun Life Stadium, a win and a loss, are the 2 1-0 games the Marlins have been involved in this year. But we don't have to worry about the 1-0 games anymore because the Marlins now lead 2-0. The pitch fouled off by Paulino. 0-2. Baez checking in with his catcher Ruiz. Of course, this one's not over. We got the bottom of the ninth coming up, top of the Philadelphia batting order. That pitch is low. 1-2. A lot of action in baseball today. Mets and the Padres in a doubleheader. Padres won the first one. Pitch to Paulino, popped up. Center field, going back. Utley calls. He's got it in front of Victorino. A home run by Dan Uggla and a 2-0 lead for the Marlins as we go to the bottom of the ninth on the Marlins Radio Network. Back here for the bottom of the ninth inning. The line on Josh Johnson, 8 innings, no runs, 3 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, 113 pitches, 71 for strikes, and lowered his earned run average to 1.91. And now Leo Nunez, the Marlins closer, into the game to face the top of the Philadelphia batting order. For Leo, a 2-0 record and 12 saves, a 2.28 earned run average. 23 2/3 innings. He's got 25 strikeouts. League hitting 198 against him. He'll face Victorino, Polanco, and Utley. And if things go perfectly for Leo, that'll be it. Playing in on the grass at third, respecting the speed of Victorino, Brian Barton. Here comes the pitch, and Victorino takes outside. Ball 1 from Leo Nunez. Johnson's game to win, Halliday's game to lose. And the Marlins 3 outs away from a win here in Philadelphia. And the pitch. And that's a little bit high. 2 balls, no strikes to Shane Victorino. Told you the fans haven't left, and they're still in the game. Here's the pitch, and it's in there for a strike to Victorino. 2-1 the count. Victorino kind of snapped his head away and took a walk away from the batter's box. He's back in there. Leo already looking into Paulino, who will wait till Victorino's set. Now everybody's ready. And here comes the pitch to Victorino. And that's over the inside edge and a strike called. And Victorino again spins around. This time talks to the plate umpire.
He had a gripe in his last at bat also with Tony Randazzo. Remember we saw Victorino get thrown out from center field in a game here late last season? He'd had trouble with the home plate umpire all day. Didn't like a call with his pitcher out there. He got thrown out. He was playing center field at the time.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. A swing and a bounding ball to the right side. Up with it, Uggla. Throws to first. 1 away. So Victorino has been retired. And he is either biting his tongue, but he sure is tempted, because as soon as he took the right-hand turn after crossing first base, he looked in toward the plate umpire. Well, 1 away. And here's Polanco, who has grounded out, flied out, and tapped back to the mound. Josh Johnson and the Marlins sitting on a big W here at Citizens Bank Park. They need Leo to finish it off. Polanco, right-hand hitter. And the pitch. Spun inside. He had to get out of the way and almost hit him. Ball 1, no strikes. Polanco, a good contact hitter. He'll use the whole field. Good knowledge of the strike zone. Fairly short, compact swing. Uses a fairly short bat. Here's the pitch. That's up high to Polanco. 2 balls, no strikes. Coughlin in left. Ross in center. Stanton in right. Hunt very deep for Polanco. Barton even with the bag at third base. 2 balls, no strikes. And the pitch on the way. And that's in at the knees at a strike. And Cantu's off the line at first base for the right-handed batter, Polanco. With a win, the Marlins will even the season series with the Phillies, 4 games apiece. Nunez sets. Leo always out of the stretch, delivers a pitch, and Polanco swings, and he hits a ball down the right field line, racing to foul ground. Stanton can't get it. It's into the seats. You run out of room in a hurry down the lines here. About the last, 45, 50 feet. Across the foul line, you've got about 2 strides to go, and you're going to hit the sidewall. Stanton back to his position. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Placido Polanco. 34-year-old, 13-year veteran. 300 career hitter. The pitch. Polanco swings, pops another one foul. This is out of play. To be exact, a 304 career hitter. Utley watching from the on-deck circle, the left-handed batter. Leo toes the rubber. Flexes his right arm straight up in the air. Brings it down, grabs a hold of the baseball, and delivers. And sails it high. 3-2 to Polanco. Polanco and Nunez are not strangers. Both playing in the American League against one another. Polanco's years at Detroit, and Leo those few years he had at Kansas City. The hitter's back in, and Leo took a lot of time, and so Polanco stepped out. Polanco tucks the bat under his left arm, adjusts the batting gloves quickly, and gets back in there. Nunez sets. The slender right-hander delivers, and a line drive toward the gap in right center. That's going to be in there for extra bases. Polanco on his way to second as Cody gets it back in. A stand-up double for Polanco with 1 out in the 9th inning. That brings the tying run to the plate in the person of Chase Utley. It puts Ryan Howard out at the on-deck circle.
Phillies have their first base runner since the 3rd inning when Shane Victorino doubled with 1 out.
Now, starting with Polanco's fly ball to right in that 3rd inning, Josh Johnson retired 17 consecutive batters. Well, Polanco at second base, and the important man is the hitter, of course, Chase Utley. 2-0 Marlins here in the 9th inning. Utley has walked, grounded to second, and grounded to first. They give Utley the left field line. Defense around to the right. Nunez delivers. A strike outside edge. 0-1. Howard with the bat in hand down to our right. Doing some stretching exercises, swinging a weighted bat. Utley in the batter's box. Here's the pitch to him. A swing and a ground ball to first. Grabbed neatly by Cantu. Takes it to the bag for the out. Now there are 2 down. Utley grounds out to first. Polanco moves to third on the play. Here is Ryan Howard representing the tying run. Howard doubled an opposite field bloop double onto the left field line in the first inning. Since then he has lined out and struck out. And Hanley Ramirez, the shortstop, comes in to talk to Leo Nunez. And now Ronnie Paulino out there as well in conversation with Leo Nunez. Ryan Howard is 2 for 5 against Leo Nunez. Leo has struck him out once. He is in the batter's box. Ronnie Polino back behind the plate. Hanley late to shift to the right. He was still on the third base side. They leave Barton on the left side and move Hanley to the right side, with Ugla going to shallow right field, Cantu down the line. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike one to Howard. 2 outs in the ninth. 2-0 Marlins. Runner at third. Howard the tying run. The big man is batting .291 with 10 homers and 43 batted in. Against the shift. Leo straightens. A glance at the runner and the pitch to Howard. Swing and a miss. Strike two. 2 strikes on Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard, who has 1 home run this year, 27 career home runs against the Marlins, a .312 career hitter against the Marlins coming into this contest. He's back in there. Leo's got it down to 2 outs, 0-2 on Howard. Nunez is ready. And the pitch. And it's taken low. An off-speed pitch, low and outside, that Howard refused to chase. An 88-mile-an-hour changeup. The fans still in it here. Probably don't have to tell you that with 2 outs and Howard up, the outfield is deep. Infield shifted around to the right. Brian Barton, an outstanding shortstop, is the man on the left side. Leo's pitch to Howard. A swing here and a pop foul. That's out of play down behind first base. 1-2 the count on Howard. Another meeting of the minds. And again, Hanley joins Paulino out there on the mound in talking with Leo Nunez. And very slowly, the plate umpire, Tony Randazzo, makes his way out there. Didn't really have to say anything. They break it up on their own. Leo, after adjusting the cap, toes the rubber, looks in. We're ready. Here's the pitch. Howard swings, got a piece of it, fouled it off, straight back on the ground. Still 1-2 to Ryan Howard. Leo, who has now thrown 19 pitches, would love to end this with his 20th pitch of the inning. Two down, runner at third. Leo checks. The pitch to Howard. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He struck him out to end the ball game, and the Marlins have combined to pitch a 4-hit shutout over the Philadelphia Phillies. Josh Johnson beats Roy Halladay, and the Marlins pour out onto the field for the high fives. The Marlins win here in Philadelphia. A pitcher's battle, and it ended on a high note of pitching as Leo Nunez struck out Ryan Howard to end the game. Howard representing the tying run. 2-0 Marlins. Back with the totals in a moment on the Marlins Radio. Back here for a look at the totals on the game. For the Marlins, 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors, and 6 left. For the Phillies, no runs, 4 hits, no errors, and 4 left. The winning pitcher, Josh Johnson, now 7-2. The losing pitcher, Roy Halladay, now 8-4. And Leo Nunez with his 13th save. The time of the game, 2 hours and 23 minutes, and there were 44,479, the 71st consecutive sellout at Citizens Bank Park. And the Marlins and the Phillies split this rain-shortened 2-game series. 1 game apiece. The Marlins snap a 4-game slide, and they're even on the year now with the Phillies, 4-4. The Phils have lost 14 of their last 21 games. The Phil's record overall goes to 31-27. The Marlins' overall record goes to 29-31. Josh Johnson was absolutely brilliant, throwing 113 pitches, shutting the Phillies out over 8 innings and retiring the last 17 in a row that he faced. He is, of course, the Stanley Tools 5-tool player of the game. The Marlins picked up 2 runs, one in the first inning when they loaded the bases with nobody out against Roy Halladay. Got 1 run out of that. Jorge Cantu delivered a sac fly to right field that scored Chris Coghlan. The Marlins picked up their insurance run in the 9th inning with Dennis Baez on the mound. Dan Uggla hit a home run to right center, and it was his 14th of the season. He picked up his 35th run batted in and put another run on the board for the Marlins. Leo Nunez gave up a 1-out double to Placido Polanco in the bottom of the 9th inning, but got Chase Utley and Ryan Howard to end the game on a ground ball to first and a strikeout, and the Marlins win 2-0. The pitching on both sides, particularly the starters, Josh Johnson and Roy Halladay, absolutely brilliant. And again, isn't it remarkable how these 2 pitchers squared off on Saturday night, May 29th at Sun Life Stadium. Roy Halladay pitched a perfect game. Josh Johnson did not allow an earned run. He gave up 1 run, lost to Halladay's perfect game effort, 1-0. And Josh came back tonight and pitched shutout ball for 8 innings. Leo Nunez completed the combined shutout, a 4-hitter over the Phillies as the Marlins win 2-0. This game will have ramifications on the standings because everything is so tight in the National League East. We'll check that out coming up next on the 10th inning show. Glenn Geffner getting ready for that. Well, the Marlins leave town tonight. They will head to the airport in about 45-50 minutes from now, and then aboard their charter aircraft and head down to St. Petersburg, Florida, where tomorrow night at the Trop they will send Anibal Sanchez to the hill against James Shields. On Saturday night, Ricky Nolasco against Matt Garza, and on Sunday afternoon, Chris Folstad against Jeff Neiman. So we're back into interleague play as the Marlins take on the Rays. They will also take on the upcoming homestand, the Texas Rangers, who are coming to town. Texas and Tampa Bay on the Marlins' next homestand, which runs this coming Tuesday through the following Sunday, the 20th. Then the Marlins will wrap up interleague play with a visit to Camden Yards against the Orioles on June 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. That'll be the end of interleague play for the Marlins. The Philadelphia Phillies, now that they have wrapped up this series with the Marlins, the Phils tonight head to Boston. And they've got a game tomorrow night at Fenway against the Red Sox, a 3-game weekend series. Then they go to New York for a day off Monday, and then 3 at Yankee Stadium against the Yanks, of course. And they will wrap up play in interleague right here with Minnesota and Cleveland in a 6-game homestand. Oh, they have one more series. They go on the road to Toronto, but guess what? It's a road game, but it's going to be played here. The Toronto Blue Jays come here to play 3 home games against the Phillies here at Citizens Bank Park. That'll be 3 road games in their home park for the Phils. Something seems not right about that, but that's the way it is. The final score tonight, Marlins 2, Phillies nothing. Till tomorrow night then. Dave Van Horn saying so long for now. Stay tuned. Glenn is next. The 10th inning show coming your way on the Marlins Radio Network.